Marvel and I are definitely playing against Katask and Jeffrey in the upcoming week.
Yeah, the upcoming week is double elimination though, so
yes,
even if you get 16-0'd, they still they still have a chance.
Okay, so this way, like
does anyone remember the result? Okay, Return to Liger and Clock King Switcher. That was 11-9.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Katask and Jeffrey, very, very strong team, but there's of course still non-zero chances that you guys could win the match. Well, although admittedly I would think it's very low. Can you talk about what do you think the universe where you guys win this match looks like? Assume that you went over the board and not that they have a tragic accident or something.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We gotta do the prep, but even with the prep, we might get maybe we get 5 games. Actually, no, that's not true. Well, I think we'll get to double digits. Wait, what are we playing to? 15? 20?
16. 20? It's best 630 versus 16.
16. Okay. I feel like we have a decent shot of getting to double digits, but it'll be tough. We always start slowly, so if we get a good warm up, then maybe we can take a bunch of games off. The current plan.
I like to give up prepared.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a plan of who's going to play who so far, but it kind of depends on their ratings, which I guess are not going to change that much.
Ooh, that's interesting. I might ask you in private what that plan is. I don't know if you want to.
Yes. Who knows if they're watching this pod?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they're very scared.
Yes. Yeah.
So in this match, Midnight Fox is uptime. Bishop is quite good for him. Oh, he's using the knight. Okay.
Oh man, they're playing. Oh.
Yeah, they are
behind on the time. Okay, here we go. Oh, 96.
Ooh, well, yeah, that's
there
mate.
We go.
On in his mate. Hey, SVN thanks for watching. Thank you for the follow from Jinx to NV. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, if at all possible, I would have wanted to find a way to have EEKarf being the top board here. Just because, like...
EEKarf is the top board here.
I'm sorry, to have EEKarf be the bottom board. In my mind, Midnight Fox was the top board. Like, I want the matchup EEKarf against Midnight Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's... it's tough to talk about the narrative here, because usually whenever Midnight Fox is in a match, I would say Midnight Fox is a huge sack sitter, loves to attack. Whenever pknm is in a match, I'd say pknm, huge sack sitter, loves to attack. Whenever EEKarf is in a match, I would say EEKarf loves to attack. EgoSmasher, strangely, is the least aggressive of these 4 players. And when I say that, people who know EgoSmasher knows that he's a pretty aggressive guy himself. So this is just going to be a wild match.
I don't. pknm's playstyle must have changed with the years, because like as long as I know him, he's been. He hasn't been much of a sack sitter. Like if anything, I've seen him like he's one of the safest players I've ever seen, and he'll give whatever material that he needs to. But after he bleeds the material, he's almost always safe at the end of it. So
my characterization may not be correct for pknm, but it's definitely true for Midnight Fox and EEKarf. These are attackers.
Oh yeah. One thing that's promising so far is the speed from EEKarf. Like we know his class as a player in terms of move quality, one of the greatest attackers ever, but his speed's really waned through the years, and
I agree and disagree. When you say his move speed is not good, I agree. When you say through the years, I disagree. EEKarf has always been slow.
He has, but I don't think he's been this slow.
No, he's been slower. He's sped up over the years, I guarantee you. There's a famous bet, a famous wager from, I don't know, 10 years ago or so, where Chicken played against Vaboris and J Killer, and Chicken took EEKarf as his partner. and they were down like 30 seconds every single game, and Chicken lost something like $1,000 betting on Bughouse, and the Chicken was surprised by this result, and the result was caused, number one, because EEKarf was so slow, but number two, because Vaboris, most of the times that Vaboris had been playing Bughouse traditionally, he had been playing like 4 tables of poker at the same time and laying down on his back and using a touchpad. But as soon as money was put on the line, Vaboris sat down in a chair, plugged in a mouse, and stopped his multitasking, and it was just domination.
We got the mid from pknm on the counterattack. Yeah, I think Midnight Fox and pknm are going to be too good at coordinating for like EEKarf and Smasher to get away with being down more than like 5 or 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Ironically, I don't think they're as good at coordinating as the last team that we saw, or as the Lager team, but that's like one of the strongest coordinating teams like in the whole tournament.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fox and pknm's strength is that they're still really good at coordinating, but also have really complementary styles. Fox is an attacker and pknm's always safe, which gives Fox license to just stack all of the pieces that he wants to for initiative.
Yeah, so where EEKarf tends to shine is EEKarf will find these great attacks, and his opponents will burn time trying to find like any defense, and EEKarf will think on their time and come up with like great moves to continue the attack. But when he has an opponent who is so good at defense that can just like make moves instantly, he's going to get down more and more time, and is not going to be able to think on their time, which is I think what we're seeing here.
Yeah, and so like they're different styles of defense. Like in the Lager match we saw King Switch, who I also think is an amazing defensive player, but his defense is a lot more coordination oriented, where he'll get slightly risky positions, but he can hold pieces at the right time.
Right.
The reason this matchup is so tough is pknm's defense has very little to do with coordination. It's almost all move quality, and he just gets safe positions with his king. So like you can't really take advantage of getting flow at the right time. Like you're really going to have to work to get initiative against pknm.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And here they're down for like 15 seconds, and EgoSmasher's position is actually good in chess here.
And by the way, historically, the person who played a lot like Clock King Switcher in terms of being safe and using coordination to always have your opponents like 1 pawn less than what they need to get their checkmate was Horkro. Horkro was just a master at that sort of thing.
Oh, interesting. Like when I think of like the Godfire of that style, I actually think of Chicken Crossroad.
Chicken is fairly good at that himself, but Chicken has like many gears. Horkro, like that's his only gear.
I usually think of 12-teen when he plays very calculated risks like that.
12-teen is known to be more of an aggressive player than a defensive player.
Yes, but he likes to eat sacks. I don't know. It's like sometimes he plays very risky in the opening because he knows not a lot of pieces are coming. So he walks a fine line, and he runs out with his king, and then wins with extra material.
I think we have another.
I'm surprised you didn't mention mystery shuttler snakes when you mentioned that style. That seems like the kind of person you would think of.
I'm not as familiar with mystery shuttler as the others, but I'm not saying that he doesn't do that sort of thing.
He's a greedy horse.
Okay.
He just be taking stuff and like daring you to do something, and you can't, but you're still just so insulted that he's playing like that.
So Free Killer says in the chat, how do I watch the Katess matches? So we watched Katess Jeffrey earlier this stream, so you could watch the VOD for this back like a half an hour, and you'll see that match. And we're going to try to cover the matches in future rounds as well.
Yeah, I predict that after next round, like the Elite Eight, I don't think we will have any undefeated teams in the tournament. I think Katask and Jeffrey are losing at least one game, probably more than that. And I think that 12 Teen and J-Kid are losing at least one game, probably more than that. Super impressive that they've managed to go undefeated to this point. EEKarf has more of an attack than he's had the other positions, so he's kind of happy here, but still I don't think he's going to have enough.
I really wanted to see if bishop takes e6 a little bit earlier, because then if pawn takes knight e5 would kill with another pawn, and I'm not sure what happens after king takes, but I think it would be good.
I want to see. So like bishop, was there ever a point where the black bishop wasn't just covering e6 and they could just
right after king d7.
Oh, okay, this is when you want. Okay. Oh, yeah. I think that's a nice idea to open up the f7 square. So Fox has been sitting.
This is where EEKarf shines, by the way, when his partner's opponent stalls and he has to calculate out attacks. Like, this is his bread and butter.
I don't know if Smasher can survive this. Knight at c4. Oh, this looks so bad. Take the queen with check. Yep, and he's mating. Yep. That was some clutch attacking from midnightfox there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess with EEKarf, like in the game, like you're only going to be able to go but so fast, but yeah, like last game was good. Like if the time difference is basically what it was last game, where it's like 3 to 5 seconds, and then you actually have time on the after, then you can win those games. But I think any game where EEKarf and EgoSmasher are down more than 5 seconds, like they're just not going to win against a team of this caliber.
Yeah, and EgoSmasher is capable of moving very fast, so he may be able to make up for EEKarf's slowness, but he has to keep in mind, like every move, that moving fast is the priority.
Yeah, well, the difference, like EgoSmasher hasn't had to face an attacker like this to this point in the tournament. Like EgoSmasher is insanely fast, but midnightfox slows you down, and he has to move slow here because if you defend accurately against these attacks, like you're just going to be in a world of hurt. That being said, I really like EEKarf's position here. Yeah, I think his king is safe enough, and pknm's got a lot of threats to deal with on the back end. There's knight h3 ideas. There's rook at f1.
So Prodvi Killer, right now in the commentator booth we have Scary Snakes and Amalaba.
pknm's trying to call me a liar. I said that EEKarf's king was safe enough, but it might not be.
It looks okay to me. What about king c8? Does he need more heavies or something?
Well, king c8, I wanted to go bishop at d8.
Ooh, that looked like a pre-move.
Why did you do that with the There was no.
That is unfortunate. Oh wait, this is.
Oh, the bishop defends though. No, it's just the mate.
Like
it didn't even need the rook to mate, but he used the rook to mate in 1 instead of 2. Our score, by the way, is 4-0, favoring midnightfox and pknm.
So I think king c8 is fine as long as pknm only had bishops in hand, but if pawn at d7 and you have to take this with your queen, then I think you're getting mated after I go pawn at b7. Okay, what's happening in this game? Okay, well this I'm ecstatic as EEKarf. Like, this is a position that I have in wet dreams.
So Joker 2050, who is Gulamali Rises, asks in the chat, what was the score for Jeffrey and Katask? Gulamali, do you want to guess what the score was? I'll give you a hint. They were playing until 11 games. So what do you think the score was? Yes, 11-0. The complete shutout. By the way, I should end that prediction too. I don't think anyone voted on
We
it.
can just link him the police report, and then he can determine what happened from there. Okay, thank you. EgoSmasher finally takes this knight with check. He has knight h6 if he wants it, but he wants to go this way. I actually like knight h6 then going knight takes bishop. I don't understand this. I guess as long as EgoSmasher is safe and doesn't get chessed, EEKarf's position is just winning. I'm actually curious, how good is EgoSmasher at chess? This looks like 2100 bullet and about 2100 blitz. Pretty good. Definitely not have to hold his own. Wait, okay. I blinked and somehow pknm's king is safe. What is this sorcery? Okay, pknm's king is safe, but now EgoSmasher is just gonna bring on his board. Ricky's 6 here is mating, or we can play mate in 1. That's pretty good.
Mate in 1 is pretty good.
So I was just inspired by Chuck, and I want to use the pieces on the board.
Yeah, no, I prefer to use pieces on the board for sure. So our score right now is 4-2, favoring Midnight Fox and pknm.
Yeah, so I think the recipe for success is going to be high trades on the EgoSmasher. The recipe for success for the underdogs here is going to be high trades on the EgoSmasher and Midnight Fox team, and the time being close enough to be manageable. Like now we're starting to enter the danger zone where EEKarf is sitting, and I don't think that he needs to yet.
Yeah, he should not be sitting. And that's true like almost ever.
But I mean, EEKarf's gonna have to sit like somewhat, because if EEKarf isn't attacking, then you're like losing the value he brings to the match.
Like three pawns mates for EEKarf, but he has downtime, so he's not gonna get him.
So an underrated part of EEKarf's game, at least from what I've seen, is he's actually a very accurate defender. We rarely get to see him defend because he sells his soul to attack his opponent. But like when he finally has to hunker down and like not die, I find he tends to do this better than most sack sitters. But yeah, pknm's not going to be interested in the counterattack. He's just going to have a safe king and then enjoy the fruits of his labor and all the extra pieces that he has that EEKarf sacked.
Yeah,
I wonder why people always say that sack sitters are bad at defenders or defense, because what I see is that they usually are, because they're always the people who move slowly, get a lot of pieces, so they're used to attacking with a lot of pieces or defending with a lot of pieces. So yeah, that's just the sense I get.
And pknm has won a queen and has taken this pawn and is safe forever.
I think most sack sitters are below average, below average defenders relative to their rating, just because like other people of that same rating aren't as good as attacking. So usually the difference is made up in like defending and coordination.
pknm has mate here.
Yeah, there's no defense here. Rook at g8, that's quite accurate. Or it looks like it's quite accurate.
Queenette was not accurate because of knight takes queen. but when you're in a time scramble, it's fine.
Okay, so that game didn't work out for them, but I mean, like the big one is like when EEKarf was sitting before he really needed to, but that's you live with those games as EEKarf and EgoSmasher. You got an attack and they just defended it well, but like the only way you're winning this match is in the games where EEKarf gets an attack, so you're happy with this outcome. I like EgoSmasher's position on the bottom board here. Or I'm sorry, that's the top board. I think Midnight Fox and EgoSmasher are both better than the players on the bottom board. So like in my mind, they're just the top board for me.
I do think pknm is a lot more in practice than Midnight Fox is.
Yeah, like when I look at these players, like I feel like Midnight Fox has the higher ceiling when he's like completely on his game. Like he can attack with the best of them, whereas pknm is like one of the most consistent players. Like I feel like he has a much higher like median outcome. But like usually when I'm talking about who the better players, like I care a lot more about ceiling, which is why I would consider Fox to be the slightly stronger player.
Ira was saying that pknm missed a mate. Was that this game or last game?
Well, if it's last game, he missed about 7 of them. But this is
Last game. Okay.
EEKarf with a huge time advantage. This is a major development. Like I think this is the first time I've seen them up more than 2 seconds in the match.
Queen trade. Whoa, what? Pawn at d7 seemed absolutely crushing. Why didn't he play pawn at d7?
I mean, sometimes you look at the board and you're like, I don't want to win. Are we going to take queen? Yeah, they see it. They're taking the queen to mate him win. Yeah, no, you're correct. Pawn at d7 was definitely the move.
Who am I rooting for? I'm not really rooting for anyone here.
Oh,
I know 3 or 4 of these players. I've never met pknm. I met Midnight Fox several years at the Berlin tournament. EgoSmasher and EEKarf have both stayed at my house for the World
why did
Open.
he move?
Great question. Yeah, that's mate. Knight takes pawn.
Yeah, I mean, EEKarf was. I mean, so EgoSmasher just got made that game, but I cannot let it slide that EEKarf was a little lost in the sauce. He hung a piece out of the opening. I think he thought he had a tactic that was working, but unfortunately, it was not. Okay, but those things happen. Like sometimes you slip, sometimes you like miss something and hang a piece out of the opening. Like I'm much more okay losing a game where I slipped or I just made a mistake I know isn't going to repeat versus if I'm just getting outplayed. That's something that's harder to fix.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I really like EEKarf's position here.
Yeah,
EgoSmasher-
EEKarf seems to have a good attack. pknm is doing a good job sticking pieces the right place to defend.
Yeah, I want EgoSmasher to fix Rook just to like free up EEKarf. Like I feel like he could find some really tricky attacking moves by placing this Rook onto, or by by being able to use this queen. But yeah, the other thing I'm worried about is him being downtime. Like he might be able to just force the Rook. Okay,
Yeah.
EgoSmasher
Now
does
like
fist-
knight at g4 is gonna be pretty forcing move. The idea of pawn at f2. He's just giving the rook. Oh, his partner's safe now. He's safe for the rook.
EEKarf really tightening the screws here.
Yeah, EEKarf has a really crushing attack. Not only that, but the rook is actually like looking down on f7 if this knight moves. Like knight takes e5 might be a threat someday.
They're down 5 million years. And EEKarf's king is too safe. Infinite pieces aren't going to mate. So technically, pknm doesn't have a mate threat right now, like assuming that knight doesn't come. And they're up 15 seconds, so they could hold knight if they wanted to coordinate. I actually don't know what the plan is here. Because it looks like you're losing on both boards. Maybe your best bet is to try and do some sort of chessing thing with Midnight Fox.
You don't want to chess Midnight Fox. It's just not going to end well.
As in, well, no, I'm saying like I think Midnight Fox should try and chess his opponent, even though I don't think that this position is winning chess. Although now it is.
I think it's winning chess for sure.
Oh yeah, after he like hung his rook to this tactic, but beforehand, like I thought EgoSmasher should be able to live fairly easily. Yeah, but I think they're sort of going for this because like pknm isn't surviving a long game. Whoa, EgoSmasher's winning.
Yeah.
Right, he chessed the FM.
He did chess the FM.
EgoSmasher is so fast. Oh, and the comeback. Oh, the made out of nowhere by pknm.
Yeah, so maiden one here.
What did this happen? Oh, it's once the rook took on h8, suddenly we had this cute idea of rook at h1 as a big threat.
And Midnight
Oh,
Fox
that's
is
so
up
hard to spot
time.
in the time scramble.
Midnight Fox is up time and surely made it in like one move here, maybe two moves with the queen and rook in hand.
I really like Midnight Fox and pknm sitting there.
Our score is now
pknm's position was lost.
Yeah, our score is now 7-3, favoring Midnight Fox and pknm.
pknm's position, like 9 times out of 10, I think you lose that game as Midnight Fox and pknm, even though they were up 15 seconds. But I think them sitting it down and like making the game short rather than long was just playing to their win condition, and then they managed to win the game.
Yep, good decision for sure.
I'll promote on b1 for EEKarf. Oh wait, no, that doesn't work. I lied. EEKarf's sitting. I mean, he kind of has to, but this is not good for you. Oh yeah, and it's so hard for EgoSmasher to force trades in this position. Yeah, now I think this looks terrible for them. You're down 15 seconds, and like EEKarf's still sitting for a bishop that's never going to come.
And I was just about to say that I think EEKarf is going to give up his queen because he cares a lot more about attacking.
Yeah,
Knight takes rook here. Yeah, no, he doesn't have enough ammunition to keep it going, but...
Oh wait, knight takes d2, that's free. Okay, it gets from a 2. Because like here, like EEKarf, you're not going to get to attack. You're going to be playing chess. I don't like giving the queen there because it's like you got to pretend like you're attacking for 2 moves and then you had to play chess. But he's very fortunate to get to promote on b1. I think if that didn't happen, then his position would be so much harder to play.
Yep.
Rook g6 here, yeah, the knight covers e7. pknm just wants to clear this piece away from his king.
Clear the pawn away, yeah. EEKarf could just take a few free pawns.
Yeah, he might be a little bit worried about take c6 and knight at e7 also. Okay, yeah, I like this move. I would go knight e7. Yep. And he decides he wants to save one. But yeah, the problem is in this scramble, they've lost every scramble to Fox and pknm thus far.
They have.
But if there's anyone who can make this work, it's EgoSmasher. He is so stupidly fast. Like, it's a problem. And look at EgoSmasher. They're up time already. EEKarf's going to be mated here. Oh my god.
Wow. 0.3.
They were down 4 seconds heading into that time scramble.
Yeah, EgoSmasher, it seemed like every move he hung a piece to get a check, but it worked out.
But no, that's good. Like, those are the type of games that you have to steal if you're going to beat a team like this. Because pknm and Midnight Fox, I think, are pretty clearly the stronger team. So yeah, like, it's going to take winning a few games that you shouldn't have won to beat them.
Yeah, I agree for sure.
EgoSmasher sack sitting, I don't like this just strategic. I don't get. He's sort of sack sitting, but his idea is probably more to try and win pieces than it is to attack.
Yeah.
But like, as EgoSmasher, you're basically never allowed to attack unless EEKarf gives you the greenest of lights. Yeah, but now both of their attacks are fizzling, and Fox and pknm, I think, are going to have a pretty comfortable position. Although, as soon as I say that, EgoSmasher gets in with bishop takes f3. But they're down too much time, and like, Karf's not going to be able to feed him what he needs, and I also don't think Karf intends to feed him what he needs. I think he has different ideas for what's happening in his position. for Ego
Yeah, 10
Smasher.
seconds is a huge amount of time to be down.
Oh, he's found a really resourceful way of defending here. Like, he's got to throw on E3, and he's also covering everything on the back end.
Yeah, defending by
So
attacking.
even rook at F8 should be fine because we have King D7. I don't see any checks after that.
Yep.
I guess 2 rooks is the danger zone. So down this much time, 2 rooks is very doable.
It is.
He blocks on B5 because we want as many escape squares in case, because yeah, the king's gonna have to run in that direction. So if we had put the bishop on C6, yeah, we would have nowhere to escape to. Even the second rook, we can maybe survive with King C6, but I'm not happy about doing that. Knight D5 sort of looks like it has a threat, but I don't think it actually does. Okay, now knight takes F4 as a threat. Oh, Midnight Fox just sitting for the queen. Okay, I like this decision from Karf to hold it, but now the queen's forced. Oh,
what?
Yeah. EgoSmasher, it was a time scramble, but EgoSmasher couldn't pre-move all like he did the previous game.
Yeah.
There was a lot of positions where they're made in one threats, and he basically had to defend, which slowed him down in the scramble.
Our score, by the way, is 8-4, favoring pknm and Midnight Fox. Prudvig by Killer says EEKarf used to be 2,000 to 2,100. That would be like a low point for him. I mean, even on the free internet chess server, he was usually 2,400 strength there, which here translates to like 2,600. So yeah, if he was ever 2,000 to 2,100, it was because he was very, very out of practice. He's one of those players who have taken like long breaks from Bughouse before.
Yeah, I think EEKarf's pretty close to accurately right. Like, I think he's like.
Yeah, I think right now he's about accurate. 2,400 is about where he should be.
Like I honestly, I don't think I would put him quite at 2,400. Like,
I would put him at 2,400 for sure. Not only that, but I think if he were in practice, he would be at 2,500. But he is very much out of practice.
Like, I think in terms of like move quality, is attacking, like he's right up there with pure essence, maybe even a little bit better when we just look at ability to find tricky moves and attack. But like the speed is such an issue for me in a way that I think can really get exploited in matches against like good teams that will be able to coordinate against his attacks, and that's the main reservation I have with putting him at like 24 or even 2,500 strength, like currently. But like if we're just talking move quality, like yeah, like he makes 2,500 caliber moves. He may even make 2,600 caliber moves. Like it would be hard for you to find like 3 better attackers in the game.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is even speed is somewhat of a factor of rust. I think if he played more regularly, he would be faster.
Okay, that's fair. I don't have a good sense of like his speed when he's not, and it's not like even like he needs to be super fast. I just know he has to be like faster than he's playing currently.
Yeah, he does. Our score is now 9-4, favoring pknm Midnight Fox. Team Sweden. Hey, Todd does Minecraft. Thanks for watching. Yeah, EEKarf is slow over the board. That's true.
I don't really see places to like. I think as EEKarf and EgoSmasher, you're playing your game plan, you're playing your style, and they're just outplaying you. Like I don't think you can change anything up to this point. You just have to keep going for these attacks and just hope that you can find ways to make it count. But here we see a huge material advantage for EgoSmasher and EEKarf. This looks fantastic for them. Like Midnight Fox is the one with the attack that's stalled, and EgoSmasher is just enjoying the fruits of his labor with a bunch of extra pieces. Okay. Fox gets the queen though. He's getting something, but even after he gets this queen,
Yeah, so here normally I would take the rook, but here I think you need to take the queen because of queen takes h2 as a threat. You don't.
oh yeah, good call, good call.
So a knight would be very good for Midnight Fox. He's just going to pick up some pieces
I don't
instead.
like this decision. I think that's a spot where Midnight Fox
Knight is still good for Midnight Fox. So he's played like 10 different moves and the knight is still crushing.
So their downtime, I would 1,000,000% sit here as Midnight Fox. They don't want to take it to a scramble, which is fair. They're the better team. But I wouldn't have taken it all the way down to a scramble. But if the game's shorter rather than the game being longer, I think we're going to have a higher win probability. Because EEKarf, like in a shorter game, it's just going to be hard for him to keep up with the pace of the rest of these players. Yeah, like we could have had the same position with each side having 10 seconds left on the clock, and I'd feel a lot happier as Midnight Fox and
Oh, EgoSmasher promoted a pawn.
PKnm.
EgoSmasher's doing a really good job clearing the board here.
Yeah, EgoSmasher is one with the force in terms of time, because he's not just playing mindless moves fast. Like he can play super fast and still find moves like pawn at a2, which is so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, Midnight Fox has nothing in his life. Queen at f1 was making.
EEKarf should not move for the rest of the game. This can be an easy chess victory.
Yeah. Okay, 9-5. If EEKarf and EgoSmasher are going to make a move, this is a time. You don't want to get to a spot where you're in a do or die position and you have no margin for error and you have to win every single game. So if they can get it to 9-7, then I think that the comeback is real. Or I still want to pick them, but I would say that they have real chances of winning the comeback. If Midnight Fox and pknm win either of the next two games, so I think it's going to be too hard for them to come back after that. Okay, I like EEKarf's position here.
Oh,
the king's on f2, so he's going to
missed a question a long time ago from JustPriniac13, which said, "Is this stage elimination?" It is. This is elimination matches. The next round is double elimination, but this round is single elimination. I know he probably still isn't here, but just for the benefit of the rest of the year. Other thing I should do is gift the sub to Jonas Wrath to thank him for the raid. We were just too involved in the commentary at the time when he did his raid. But another shout out to Jonas Wrath. Do appreciate the raid. Go ahead.
EEKarf's uptime and he's attacking. Oh gosh, I don't know what's happening here. Midnight Fox is up material in chess, but EgoSmasher's king is relatively safe. I think I like the position for EEKarf and EgoSmasher. How about bishop at c4 for EEKarf, just pinning that rook, and so we have renewed threats on the e3 square. Okay, he goes this way. Oh, bishop takes f6 with the idea that if you go queen takes queen to h8. Oh, no, not queen at 8. Queen to h8. The idea was if you played queen takes queen, then there's queen at e7. Okay, well, he has mate here with rook at e7. He decided not to play it, but... I think
wow, Midnight Fox is attacking now.
EgoSmasher should sit. Midnight Fox, or I'm sorry, EEKarf should sit. Yeah, EgoSmasher can flag his opponent from this position. Just 0 pieces should come. Never mind, EEKarf made it his opponent. I'll shut up. All right, 9-6.
This is the comeback.
No, I'm not gonna wait. I believe. They've shown me enough.
Gary Snakes believes. He believes in the comeback, so he is predicting EEKarf and EgoSmasher for the win.
I'm not quite ready to predict them to win, but I will confidently say we're getting overtime.
Okay.
EgoSmasher, I don't know about this attack. I mean, like, I think in terms of compensation, like, I think this is like a fine queen sack. You're gonna get tons of initiative. Just strategically for this match, you put EEKarf in a position where he has to feed you, and like, I don't think that that's a
Oh,
recipe for success for your team.
EEKarf is trying to go for a rook, I believe, for f2. His rook left is going to allow rook f5.
Okay.
I think you take the knight, then play knight takes knight. Oh, okay.
EEKarf showing that
Rook takes
he's
bishop looks really good.
multi-talented.
Oh, that's a free queen. Wow.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Rook takes e3 looks strong. Yeah, he didn't have any other blockers. But EEKarf's showing that he's more than capable of playing for his partner's board. Like, even here, getting a relatively dicey king. Oh, the rook's... Oh, rook isn't coming. Yeah, he can hold rook. Yeah, rook doesn't even matter. Now
yeah, I don't think a rook...
D1.
I don't think a rook even mates.
Yeah, you want to be careful to avoid a draw here, honestly. Oh, do we play king e2?
I think you can... That looks like a free pawn to me.
Oh, EgoSmasher just says mate on the other board. There are no blockers.
Yes.
Oh, this is getting interesting.
9-7.
I think pknm, just as long as they take a breath here, like EgoSmasher and EEKarf played some really nice games, but if I'm pknm and Midnight Fox, I'm saying I'm still the better team. I'm not going to overreact to this. Like, if we play our game, we're going to win this match. But yeah, that was a really nice showing from EgoSmasher last game with his attack, and also from EEKarf demonstrating that he's more than capable of playing for his partner's board. That's an area where a lot of times we'll see like a bit of weakness for sack sitters, where they get tunneled on attacking, but always nice to see a sack sitter selflessly playing for his partner. Okay, and EEKarf is in.
He is in.
Or 5,
knight takes
whatever
pawn, that's a free pawn. So pawns are good, but he always has the resource of knight takes h7.
Yeah, and I think that we'll probably see it. Yeah, I was gonna say bishop at g7. Like, I think you're bleeding too much material. What about queen h5?
I like. Well, I think just pawn at g6. After that, I mean, if he took the knight, obviously, then that would be death for him. But no, maybe not, because the knight guards f7. I'm so blind.
Yeah, I mean, queen h5. My idea is like I'm gonna want a knight at g5 because.
Oh, okay.
But looking at the other board, I don't see how EgoSmasher forces it. Like, rook's going to come.
Yeah, I think he just brings back the knight. Makes sense. What he would like, I think, is another knight, like a new knight for e6, wins the queen.
I don't think he has any interest in winning that queen. Okay, they're up time now. So is Midnight Fox trying to hold a knight here? Okay, I like this decision. EgoSmasher is going early. Like, we don't want to sit to a scramble because we're the slower team. Oh, now EgoSmasher sits because Midnight Fox is close to mating. I think EgoSmasher should be sitting soon. Okay. I'm sorry, I was gonna say EEKarf. Their names are so similar, but yeah, EgoSmasher is just gonna flag his opponent here.
That's mate. EEKarf has mate.
Wow, 9-8. They said I was crazy for believing. It's happening.
Not only that, 1 minute until our next match starts.
This is such an interesting shift in this match, just because, like, I can't point anything different stylistically or anything. Like, I think EgoSmasher and EEKarf have just been playing better. I think Fox and pknm were outplaying them in most early games, and these last games that they've won weren't flukes. Like, I think they just played better than Fox and pknm.
Yeah.
Which is why they've made this match so close.
So do you have any insight to whether Chicken Helms will be starting on time or holding off a bit?
I don't know. I don't think that any of the players have said anything in chat. Yeah, so no insight on whether or not they are going to start on time.
Miss Fairy Queen says EgoSmasher can single-handedly carry the scrambles. Yeah.
Oh, just as we say that, Bughouse Knight, True Homie, asked in chat if it was okay for them to wait until this match finishes to start theirs. And yeah, I assume Chicken and Helms will be fine with that, in which case we'll get to cover all of the matches. So Midnight Fox is sitting now just to like starve EEKarf of pieces here. I think I would have liked to see a little bit more of the micro sitting that we saw in the earlier match. Like against a player like EEKarf, like I'd like to sit sooner rather than later, and because like at this point, like he's already won quite a bit of material for his attack. So I want to have EEKarf playing chess as early as possible.
Yeah, though, as I said before, this is EEKarf's wheelhouse. He's used to being downtime. He's used to the other team sit in to starve him from pieces, and like now is when he tries to find just amazing moves.
Oh, EgoSmasher just putting on a clinic in terms of speed. Fox desperately trying to fight back with pre-moves, but it's not going to be enough. Wow, we have a tied match, 9-all. That's
That
five
was
straight
an
wins
amazing
for...
comeback. 9-all.
All right, so here's where you dig deep for pknm and Midnight Fox, but like even as their team, I'm not really going to change the way that I'm playing. I think as pknm and Midnight Fox, the one thing I would change is I want to communicate like even more. Like I want to be sitting as early as I can against EEKarf, basically, and just making it as difficult for EEKarf to get an attacking position as possible.
And by the way, let's remember that it's like 10 minutes ago, EEKarf was at something like 23.98. Now he's at 24.42. They've gained like 50 points.
Yeah, I think EEKarf really chose his partner wisely because he got one of the fastest players in the world, which is really just freeing him up to like have just that much more time when he's going for his attacks. And
that's true for sure, but they've also known each other for years. Like I said, they both stayed at my house like the same year, and this was like 10 years ago, I think more, probably 15 years ago. So they've known each other for years and years.
EEKarf's going to win this game. That king is on h4. This... Wow. Oh, so accurate too.
Well, you said so accurate, but he could have moved the bishop rather than drop the pawn there.
Okay, so they don't get the checkmate and seal of approval.
No.
Okay,
seal.
This
may be match point.
Yeah, EgoSmasher so confident right now. You can see his pre-moves.
and you can just imagine Midnight Fox and pknm like 15 minutes ago, like might have been plotting strategy for the next match, thinking this match was in the bag. But
okay, that being said, like two players with this much experience, like if there's anyone I trust not to get tilted and be able to recenter and focus to come back in this match, it would be Fox and pknm.
Yeah.
Like, I would still put them as the slight favorite to win this match if we're just starting from right now. Like even like accounting for the extra game lead that EEKarf and EgoSmasher have. But as I say that though, this just looks really good for EgoSmasher. Midnight Fox's attack has fizzled out, and EgoSmasher has a ton of extra pieces.
So EEKarf would like a rook or a knight here. If he gets a rook, then bishop at f8 could be interesting. Bishop at f8 followed by rook at e8 for the rook. Knight at
the queens.
Knight at g8 is good.
I mean, Queen is forced on EgoSmasher's board.
Yeah, well, if queen is forced, then we just have bishop at f8 is pretty crushing. This is a weird move. Don't think I like that one.
I like it because like you're doubling up on the f8 square, and now there's bishop at f8, and you just have mate.
Oh, now it works.
Wow, that hats off. What?
This still mates with queen takes pawn.
Yeah, queen h7.
This still mates with pawn in. He's finding a bunch of slow ways to mate. EgoSmasher is up 4 seconds. He doesn't need to move anymore.
Wow, that was incredible.
And that was match. That is GG's.
And just such mental fortitude to make a comeback like that. Like being down 9-4, it's so easy to get tilted and think that you have to change everything, but like,
I'll tell you where the turnabout happened. It's that being down 9-4, and then I asked Scary Snakes, "Do you believe?" And he said yes, and that's when the match started to go the other way.
You're right. I was a part of this. I made this happen.
I think we should Bughouse Knight and Helms Knight, Chicken Chess Brainiac, that match is going on right now, so we should start watching that one.
Yeah, for sure.
You're not gonna let me get my victory lap for believing.
Okay.
I don't think they started just yet.
No,